Here we go. Okay. Now I'm gonna have to find. I'm gonna have to find my peer review for yours.
Okay.
That was what I lost.
Well, and I noticed that you had posted it on the discussion board, so if you have to, you can probably go to discussion.
I'm gonna see if I can pull it up.
And I've got yours pulled up down here. Let's see. This one. All right, I have yours pulled up if you want me to go over yours.
Okay, that's fine.
For mine. Let's see here. So, I felt like it was aligned well with the course content. You did have a lot of external sources, a lot of rich data. Again, I just make sure that you've cited the information. We talked about that last time about how sometimes,
I did it again.
You know, it's sometimes whenever you work in a place and you just know the stuff, but try to make sure that you do have the information cited from somewhere. You know, even if you do like a personal interview with someone at your school or something like that, just to make sure that you've gotten the data from somewhere other than your head. Then the next part, unpacking the rubric, you put a lot of detailed information, which I thought was great. All the information about IDEA, all of the federal mandate information was really great. There was, and it's not necessarily required until you get to like the accomplished or proficient sections of the rubric, but depending on where you want to go, adding the part about school communication and enforcement of expectations would enable your paper to be even fuller up on the rubric. I noticed that wasn't on every section, like it wasn't on the accomplished section maybe, but it was on proficient. And I put that note, you know, wrote it out there. I felt like you used critical thinking skills for your paper. Your grammar and spelling were fine. There were a few subheadings that were not centered. Most of them were. Just make sure you go through and center those. Your structure was very professional. Your subheadings were present. Again, I put a little note in there about how some of them weren't centered. You used descriptors throughout your paper, and at least most of your sources were cited. So overall, even though you had a trying week with technology, I feel like you did really good with this component. One suggestion I made down in the additional comments was just like maybe percentages of the special populations that were represented in your paper, just percentage of the student body that fall under those. But that was all I had for you.
Yeah, it was hard trying to well, when I was interviewing my my vice principal, the assistant principal over the EC department, she cleaned her office, so she couldn't find it at that time, so that's why I had left it out. So hopefully next week I can put it in. She can find her notebook.
Yeah, and it may be if you have. Do you guys use PowerSchool for your data systems?
Mm-hmm.
Be that your data manager can do some searches and find out like how many 504 students and how many EC students, and then you can derive a percentage from that if she can't get anything else.
Okay. I didn't even think about that. Thanks.
Because I know, like with my PowerSchool, I have the administrator rights in PowerSchool. I can tell it to you. Your data manager probably knows it, but that if she types it in the search bar, alert, like ALERT _ other, and an equal sign, that will bring up all of the EC students in the school.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm. And then if you do that alert underscore other equals and then put 504 after it, that'll bring up the 504 students.
So without the equal, it'll just be just all of the regular EC kids?
Yeah, it actually, the only downside to it, it will pull up anybody who falls under the EC classification. So that's going to be your 504 students. That's going to be your AIG students, because, you know, they fall under the special ed too. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, anyone who falls under the special education, but it'll at least give you a starting point or a rough estimate of how many EC students you have in the school. Okay.
So could she put AIG after the equal sign?
I'm not sure what the field header is for that.
Okay.
AIG, I'm sure there is one. At the alternative school, we don't have as many AIG students, so I haven't memorized that query.
Okay, well, Tuesday when we go back, I'll ask her about that. Thanks.
Oh.
Okay. My turn?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. All right. I wrote that the content was aligned with the course content. External sources were used to support the facts. The assessment of the school site services for special population was demonstrated in the collaboration and termination of the site compliance with the federal, the state, and the district. You also included an evaluation of the school's communication and enforcement with the expectations and the structures and the rules. You also addressed the educational and social emotional needs of the children in special education. You didn't have any descriptors, but I thought maybe 2B1 adheres to legal requirements for planning and oh, wait a minute, that's the wrong one. Oh my Lord, that's the wrong one. I think I typed the wrong one. I'm gonna go back.
Okay.
I'll go back and email that back to you.
Okay. Yeah.
But I think that was for well, that's the one that they had for, I think, this component, which was C, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that was the only descriptor. I might have wrote down. I'll double check.
Okay.
Right, so I'll double check the descriptor. Hello. Hey, Mary. I thought that the table was very good and easy to read. I was able to follow along. I wish I'd have thought about that instead of writing all those paragraphs. Let me see. Oh, the DEC in the table. I went back in the paper to see if you had wrote what the DEC was.
I looked at that on the peer review, and it's funny because, like, in all of the IEP meetings that I've ever gone to, in the EC meetings, they always talk about the DEC 4 and the DEC 5, and I never stopped to think, what is DEC 4?
Well, you had the other numbers on there. I was like, I don't know what DEC 7, DEC 2. Then I saw DEC 5. I said, oh, okay. Okay, I've seen that before.
I did go look it up, and I found in 2 different places. It was like the Department of Exceptional Children is what it kept coming up as. But I've never heard anybody doing this terrible around acronyms, and people are like, well, no, let me jot that one down. So, but yeah.
Okay, and resources, it looked like it was a little, I can't remember. Yeah, resources. It looked a little off-centered, and procedures. I think it was it was a sentence, but then when it went to the second line, the computer automatically, I don't know why, but they put a capital P when it, but it should be a lowercase p. So that was the only thing. All your resources were cited. And I found very interesting that your school uses the holistic approach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I said that was very rare, that because most schools don't use that.
Yeah, we have so many students that are EC students and suffer from severe mental health disabilities that we recognize that, until you address the mental health needs, that the academics aren't going to go anywhere. It's just a different approach, I guess.
Yeah, and I also thought, when I read the mental health services, I was like, we don't do that in the public school.
There's actually a therapist that is contracted through a local mental health agency that has his office on the school campus. So we refer the students to him, and then they don't have to go to the office outside of school. They don't have to worry about transportation. All of their services are met right there.
Ooh. I wish we can have that in all the school systems.
Yeah, that would be nice.
You want to go, Mary? We was talking about we were doing Heather's paper.
Okay, yeah, mine is a little bit delayed. It seems like my internet or something. It seems like it's behind. Can y'all hear me?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So should I just start with any? With anyone?
Yeah, whoever you want.
Okay. I'm gonna start with yours, Camille. For yours on 4C, I thought that the info and the content that you had was definitely in line. The outside sources that were mentioned to me were relevant, and they support your narrative. As far as the rubric, I felt like it was the special populations were identified and detailed. You gave explanation, and the process was also noted in the narrative. The content of your narrative, you mentioned the strategies as well as the accommodations that were made for those specific populations, as well as the criteria. All of this shows that critical thinking and problem solving was done. As far as the mechanic, I didn't see a whole lot. Page 5, I think it was page 5 of yours on sentence 5. That was one sentence. There was one sentence, that sentence particular, that didn't. I don't know. It just seems like maybe I just read it wrong. I don't know, but I'll read that sentence where it says. The plans are updated yearly. Strategies are listed from regular education and resource teachers used in the classroom and accommodations for testing and classroom instruction. That next sentence, Mrs. Martin explained that a head count is once after, and I'm thinking something may have been missing there.
Okay.
Yeah, just put something in there that makes sense, I guess. But I thought the chart was also good, and it added to your paper. Just one thing though, on the outside is, your chart looks very good, except it looks like in the margin of your paper where it says our school, the number of tests taken, district and state, that seems to throw your paper up. Your paper looks good. It's just that takes away a little bit from your appearance. If it was all like nice and flush, I think, I don't know, I didn't see, I kept going back to your paper to see if you put your descriptors in. I didn't see your descriptors at the front or throughout. Am I wrong?
No, you're probably right. By the time I finished typing that paper over again, I probably I forgot that. I probably forgot to.
Yeah, because I'm like, clearly there was collaboration, but I just didn't see those. And all your references I thought were cited. And I thought that after those little quick fixes, you're good to go. Your paper looks great. Are we going around again, or I don't know, Heather? I might have missed it. I came in on 4 after. I don't know why my computer is like. It seems like my internet or something is behind y'all.
It doesn't matter. I have done Camille's and
Okay.
and done Camille's, so whatever you want. You want to do mine?
You want?
It doesn't matter.
Well, you could probably go ahead and do Heather.
Okay. All right. With Heather, yours also was in line. Your component for your paper. I saw that you also had some external sources, and they were mentioning your narrative with facts about your special group. You unpacked the rubric, and the chart was also very good and detailed that outlined your mandates, the procedures, and evaluative process. I like that. It was very clear and very easy to read. There were some good examples as far as the quality given that address the critical thinking and the problem solving. You included on page 8 that the SSMT meets weekly. And I'd imagine, since it is, I guess, a different kind of school, TPA, that you probably would have to meet that often, because you said you're constantly getting new people, right, or new students. So I thought that was good. It shows you all working together, reviewing and creating things. With the mechanics, good overall, small error on page 6. I think it was maybe the one that Camille mentioned, where one of them was capitalized. I think the word was, what was it?
Procedures.
Yeah, I put the wrong one down, but you know the one that she mentioned. That was pretty much it. The last paragraph on page 7, I don't know. I think it was something there too. Let me just look real quick at your page 7.
Sure.
I feel like I got something wrong on hers too. What am I looking at? Because that's not the page I was talking about, clearly. Oh, page 9, I'm sorry. So when you see that on there, when you see page 7, think page 9. It says, if it is determined that a plan is needed for the student, the plan will be written, maybe you meant, I don't know, implanted or implemented? You mean implemented? Okay, so that was the only thing I found there. And that was good. On page 10, I thought this was the only thing that made me look again was at the bottom where you had your heading, where you had expectations, your importance of expectations. I thought that maybe that would have looked a little better on the next page, because it's only like one. It's not even, it's part of a sentence. You have your heading, and then it's just like one part of a sentence. So you might want to carry it to the next page just for appearance-wise. Okay. So, let me see. I think that was, procedures like I mentioned. That everything else looks good. I didn't see descriptors in yours, but I already understand. You said when you came in 2014, that wasn't really. So maybe that's just kind of by habit that you don't have your descriptors in there. But again, yours is kind of goes hand in hand with Camille. You all show all of this collaboration. So I know the descriptors are met. You might want to put them in. And all your references were cited. And that, like I said, with Camille, yours too is pretty much, that's a pretty much great paper. You just need to, do those little tiny bits and submit the task screen as if I'm your supervisor. But I think that was a great paper as well. Good job, lady.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Do you want me to do my second paper?
Yeah.
Okay. While you doing mine, let me get my, I don't know what I do with my paper. Hold on. Yeah, go ahead and start. I'll grab my paper right quick.
Okay. Mary, I felt like your course was aligned, course content, it was aligned exclude well. I felt like as far as unpacking the rubric, you did a really good job of detailing the process. You didn't make any mention of federal guidelines or mandates, so you may want to inquire about those. And this I also mentioned to Camille, I think on the rubric it doesn't come until the far right side of the rubric about the school communication and enforcement of expectations. So I don't know that that's necessarily required across the board for it, but if you were shooting for a higher score, you may want to include some about the school communication and enforcement of expectations at your site.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like critical thinking skills were used. Your paper was written very professionally, and your spelling and grammar were fine. I felt like the structure of your paper was very professional. It was organized.
It was better.
Yeah, I was really impressed with this paper. You looked like you had it going on.
For once,
it looked good. I was like, wow, she really focused hard on this paper. It was looking good. So.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
You used your descriptors and your references were well cited. So in the comments, I felt like you did a really good job with this evidence. You wrote very professionally and you were thorough on the special populations that you did note. I did say that you may want to consider adding some other special populations that weren't highlighted, such as if you have 504 students at your school, AIG, or that kind of thing, but the special populations that you did highlight, you did an excellent job on.
Mm-hmm. With the AIG though, is that like the gifted?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, our gifted is called something different. I think you saw the part where I had accent.
Is that what your gifted students are called?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, yeah, right beside it, I had put the acronym. And I don't know how in depth I was supposed to go with the federal, but under the laws and mandates, I did mention about on the federal level and having the, the individual disability, and maybe I could elaborate more on it. But you know how sometimes it's touch and go, but I did mention that.
Okay.
And as far as like ESL, and I think Camille made a point of it on my review too. We don't have any at my school. That sad but true. We don't have any, but we do have a school in another part of the county that pretty much they have the only group of ESOL students.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's a little different dynamics. I think each time you go to a different school, you'll see something that might be totally unique from another.
Yeah.
Where we are, yeah.
Yeah, but I felt like your paper was really great. So.
Thank you so much.
To piggyback off what Heather said,
Okay.
I said the same thing about including some categories of the EC that was being serviced as far as like the 504s, the SLDs, and the OHIs if you had any. And in the beginning, I think you mentioned something about the ideal in the Section 504, the Rehabilitation Act. I suggested that you define what it is. We know what it is, but
but I'm gonna tell you what I don't know. Let me ask you, the OHI, what does that stand for?
Other health impairments.
Yeah, that's for those EC students that don't fall into one of the clear categories, but they do have a disability and score low enough on their IQ to place for EC services.
Well, see, we have like, that's not very large either. We have like 2 that kind of deal with that, but I think they call themselves something totally different than OHI. And I think sometimes the terminology might be even different. But yeah, thank you. I'll make sure that I note that difference.
I also wrote under your laws mandates to close the parentheses behind ideal. And now you did good with indenting the paragraphs, but then it was some that won't indent it. Then it was some that was indented.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, she got it. And then went down. I was like, well, she went back to no indent.
Okay. Yeah.
All your descriptions were identified throughout the artifact. And it was professionally written. All your references were cited. Yeah, and that's about it for me. I was just surprised. I was like, wow, when I read it, and I was like, wow, they don't have any ESL students. I was like, wow.
You sure don't. As a matter of fact, I think they said it was maybe about 2 years ago. We had our last one at our school. And I should have actually probably put in the data from the report, the state report card, so it could be even more convincing. But yeah, we don't have any. We're one of those districts that have one ESOL teacher, and she's not really, she's at the district office. So that's just how small it is. Kind of like a far cry CMS, which is where I used to work. Yeah.
Well, I can understand, because I think we have one ESL teacher, and she services like two or three schools.
Yeah, that's how ours is. She goes wherever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much the same way. Thank y'all for your feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
So how many more we got now? 2 or 3?
We have 3. We have OMA D, right?
Okay.
SB.
Okay. I think I only have, I think it's maybe, I want to say Heather Lemon, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
No, maybe she's in somebody else's. I don't know. I know I have Joyce and Kristen.
Okay.
In my next group.
Oh, in the next group.
Uh-huh. You have your chart, Camille?
Yeah, let me look.
That's a shame. Every time I get on, I'm asking somebody, do you have your chart? I should have my chart by now. It's about to be over.
We don't have no case study coming up next.
We have a case study, I thought, assignment 10?
Yeah, the case study is the last week of class.
Oh, okay.
First and one case study left.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me look. Yeah. Mary, you with Joyce and Kristen.
Yeah, okay. I thought so. Now I just got they put their work up real quick. Y'all put y'all work up so quick. I gotta think about it.
And then let me see. Oh, Heather, you gonna be with the stars. I'm gonna be with the asteroids.
You were there?
So I'll be back with Doris.
Doris. That was never in the group with Doris. I think we met when we all first met on when we did the first Zoom.
Oh, you know what? I'm thinking about Tanya. Never mind.
Yeah, Tanya.
Okay.
I don't know where Jacqueline fell in that. Where did she? Because Jacqueline was the new one. Where did they put?
I think she's gonna be with you, Heather.
Okay.
Because it was some empty boxes at the end. I think he just put her name in.
Oh, okay. Oh. So, have you guys started submitting any of the OMCs at all?
Man, let me tell you. I'm gonna tell you, I'm just gonna be up front. I just be forgetting. After I fix it, after I go through and revise it, I just forget. I just forget.
I had
He
one
sent the email out about it though.
About it. Yeah, I think, are we like assign someone different each time? Like a site person or supervisor? No?
I got the same one.
In my task stream, I have people that are not the professor to grade my work in task stream.
Oh yeah, I do too.
I have
Uh-huh.
and Hamilton that grade my
I have Hamilton too. Yeah.
Oh, I have Neil and the last instructor from
The previous class?
yeah.
Yeah, I do too. I have P.O.
But I don't highlight his name though. I don't put a check near his name. I just put the instructor I have now and then my intern supervisor.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have the last professor as well, but I have Hamilton who's new.
So I don't know how that goes.
I
know I be hitting the buttons wrong because my site supervisor he'll email me and be like, please stop trying to resubmit. He said I'm submitting it for evaluation. I said no, it says resubmit, and I hit the resubmit.
Yeah.
It's misleading.
I know what my screen looked like.
It's misleading because it has like the big arrow that's like
right, and I told him about that arrow too.
Yeah.
He's talking about he doesn't know. He said he don't know what our screen looked like, but he told me to stop hitting that arrow. So I said, okay, I'm gonna try. And after I met with him, I didn't submit anything else to TaskStream. So all my OMAs, they haven't been submitted because I'm scared I'm gonna hit the arrow.
Well, I believe you're like, because I've done a lot of Zoom sessions with Dr. Hamilton to try to figure out and get some clarification about TaskStream. And when you first submit the evidences to TaskStream, you're supposed to request comments, not comments. And then your professors or whoever it was that you checked will go in and give you feedback. And then after they give you feedback, they'll tell you eventually that it is ready to submit for evaluation. And that's when you hit the little blinking arrow button to submit for evaluation.
Oh, okay.
So even if we request comments and then they make comments telling me to work on something, I go back, work on it, and then request comments again?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
That's where the arrow come in. That arrow be like, hit this button, and I'll be like, okay, and then I go ahead and submit it, and then I get a email.
Yeah.
I've submitted most of mine, I think, just because I want them out of my hands and done. But where it gets me is all of mine, like I don't have any final grades for any of mine. Final score. It all just says that they've been resubmitted or submitted, and it just feels odd to me that there's no grade in there. Like some of them.
It feels incomplete because if you've done something, you're waiting for that feedback that they're not, you don't necessarily get when you expect to get it, or at least by a certain time.
Because like all of the ones that I've submitted, the professors went through, gave me feedback. I fixed the feedback. They gave me an okay to submit it for evaluation, but then it hasn't been finally evaluated. So every evidence that I've done from the first class all the way up until I guess a paper ago, none of them have like a final grade, but they've all been edited to the final point.
Oh, okay. Well, hopefully you'll get it soon.
Yeah.
Get on the email. Start emailing them.
Yeah, I submitted like maybe 3 of them, but it, from the very first few assignments.
Yeah.
We'll see. But when I submitted, and I really was for the just like for them to look at the draft.
Yeah.
I did submit 2. I mean, I forwarded to 2 because I was told that it should be at least 2 people that you send it to. Is that what you all did, or just to the professor?
I usually click both of the people that are in my little box.
Yeah.
So I have 3 names.
I have 3.
I have the professor I have Dr. Peel from the last class, and then I have Dr. Neal, and then I have my site not my site supervisor, but my intern supervisor.
Oh, okay.
So I don't hit Dr. Peel's name because that was last semester. So is he saying 2 other people besides him, or is he included in the 2 other people?
That's what I need for clarification. I just usually pick 2. I'll choose Dr. Neal and Mr. Hamilton, who is also, or Dr. Hamilton, whatever his name is. I submitted to both of them. I don't know, because I was thinking too, like you, Dr. Peel was for the other, but I imagine that any of them could probably, look at it and determine what needs to be fixed.
Yeah, because like with me, I don't even have Dr. Neal listed as a evaluator for mine. So, and Dr. Church, I don't know who he is, but he gives really great feedback and really quick feedback. But he just kind of showed up on mine. So I've been doing mine to him, and then Hamilton is my intern supervisor. Give me feedback.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's all a learning process.
Yeah.
Because I think this class, we are over halfway through the program. So, because we just have the fall of no classes, and then in the spring we'll have the final class.
So is everybody, like the 3 of us, is anyone in our group that's doing something other than add-on?
I don't think so. I don't know though.
Well, see, Tanya, for example, Tanya said that she's getting her master's.
Oh, not the add-on?
No.
Okay.
But I was just wondering with us.
Folks are going to be done in May of next year, so you'll just have the 1 class in January left after this class.
Well, let me ask you all one other thing. As far as your, I guess your hours that you are supposed to be submitting as well,
Mm-hmm.
how's that process been going, or where are you? Are you like where you should be?
I don't even know. It's so depressing. I just so happened to today I added up my my hours that I've been done since school ended.
Right.
I was like, oh my gosh, because I can only go in like 3 hours a day. But I'm hoping once this Upward Bound program finishes, I'll be able to go in full time. But then by that time, it'll be almost 2-3 weeks before school start.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping I can use the summer one in addition to, to what I did this past fall. And I don't know how many total we're supposed to have.
I think it's 400.
400?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How's yours, Heather?
Well, I have been kind of struggling to determine like what to count and what not to count, because counselor in the alternative school, I did wear hats. So I did some things naturally that administrators do in other schools, but I never thought about it that way. So having to go back and think about like scheduling, which is what this whole next evidence is about. I've been hand building schedules and doing the master schedule for about 4.5 years now. So something it's very common for me to do. Or testing. I've served as the assistant test coordinator for every year that I was at Turning Point, so for 6 years. Things like that that naturally would be at other schools, maybe things an administrator would do, I just kind of jumped in to do. So I do have quite a few hours, but in the fall, being in this new location and being able to intern under my new boss to get some elementary administrative experience.
Okay, well that's good though. At least you have a good start with it. Yeah. I'm just gonna keep close with my principal. She told me that anytime I have any extra hours, I could come out and help there, because like textbook inventory and all that stuff, that's one thing that a lot of our administrators do. So that's something that I can count for the summer. Wherever I can fit something in, I'm gonna try to.
And I really want to make sure that the experience I'm getting in the internship prepares me. You know, that's one thing that was a struggle for me, because some of the things I did, I don't feel like really pushed me to grow. So, you know, I want to make sure I do tasks that I'm like, oh, whoa, this is new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
That I feel like I'm well prepared, I could jump into school and just do. And then there's other things like finances or, you know, things like that that I know nothing about. Even the curriculum piece, I think I'm behind where a teacher would be, because I am a counselor, so I'm not doing the curriculum standards so much as a classroom teacher would be doing.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I think we all might have those concerns, though, because it's going to be something that you may not, you know, be as, I guess, you know, aware of, or just like comes natural. Like you are used to doing the schedule. Schedule might be a problem for me, you know. But I guess we take what we know how, and we do that, and then we have to accept the things that we don't, and try to get someone that can help us, or try to help ourselves as much as we can.
Yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Well, y'all, it's been nice. We only have about what? How many minutes?
About 5.
Oh, yay. But you know what? It wasn't bad, because I think what it shows is that our papers have improved. Well, I feel like mine have.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do enjoy the feedback. It helps. So when I get mine, let me tell you what I do. I print them off. Don't think I print them off, and I said, well, what I'm going to do is when I finish making all of my corrections, then I'm going to let one of my friends who are really OCD like you, Camille, and have them look at my my margins and all that stuff, because I know I'm like, ooh, and make sure I have my indentions.
I never thought about that, letting somebody read it before I submit it in.
Oh, I am. I already told my person to do. I said, listen. I said, I'm going to be popping in real early on Saturday. So what I need you to do is to be ready to read, because it's going to be a lot to read and a lot to correct. But it's doable, so I'm going to get it done.
I'm gonna have to try that.
Yeah.
Well, we got 4 minutes.
I said it can't hurt, right?
Nope, it can't.
No.
And then that would give them a better perspective, because there actually be somebody. Is she in the school system?
Yeah, she's actually one of those people who has a doctorate, and she's an EC person actually, and all of this stuff. And well, I just think she would add, help add to what I need to do. Maybe it's always good to get help.
Oh, see, the person that I would probably ask to read mine, she's not in education as far as elementary, middle school, high school. She teaches like a couple of classes in college courses.
Yeah, that still would be great,
So she would be like an outsider reading the paper. So that would help me as far as the details.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's like another set of professional eyes, if you will.
Well, she used to make me do it when she wrote her papers, and I knew nothing about. I knew nothing about what she was writing.
Yeah, that's okay then. So it's your turn now. Get some from her. Yeah.
Yep, it's her turn.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So Heather, how's the baby?
He's good. Today is his birthday.
Oh, happy birthday!
Oh, happy birthday!
Yeah.
Wow, you almost had that baby in July.
I know. Really, I had him at 10:29 at night. So my due date was June 23rd, and I thought, really, I'm gonna have a July 1st baby. You made it June 30th.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
Are we taking you from the party?
No, he goes to bed at 7, so he's been, he woke up a little bit. I don't know if y'all heard him crying in the background, but he for over an hour, so.
Because he knew it's his birthday.
Yep.
Where's my?
You denied him an extra hour staying up. He's a 1 year older now.
That's right.
That's right. Give that baby a treat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's too late, Mary. She done put him in bed already.
I know, right? Yeah. Well, if he gets up late at night, give him something.
I will. I'll say Mary.
All right. Well, we got a minute left.
Okay.
I know it's so hard to get off. I know. I understand.
I know. I was so annoyed. Well, y'all have a good, happy, safe 4th of July.
You too.
Yeah, you too.
I'm going to try to eat a hot dog or two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going to try. My son texted me and told me he was coming home with some friends.
Oh. Oh. Is he in college?
Yes.
Ooh.
He's a senior at Johnson C. Smith
Okay.
in Charlotte.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen him since Christmas
Yeah.
break.
Uh-huh.
So he texted me
Yeah.
that he was coming home. I was like, okay. Then he said he was bringing friends. I was like, oh, okay. So, but I learned from previous mistakes. I am not going grocery shopping until they get here.
Oh, no, that's right. That's right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, y'all take care and have a good one. Like I said, I know our minute is winding down. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
See you next Thursday.
All right.
Bye.